Ready to break free from algorithms, vanity PR, and money-sucking ads? My name's Larissa Worstiak, and I've learned in 8 years of jewelry marketing that content is the crown jewel. My agency, Joy Joya, takes a holistic approach, leading with laser-focused storytelling, impactful content creation, and strategic content distribution. This method has worked for the solopreneur as well as the multi-million-dollar company, and now I'm sharing the same systems and tactics with you. Here's to standing out in the sea of sparkle. Welcome to episode 292. In today's episode, I want to cover a few different topics. First, I want to announce a very special opportunity that I'm opening up to emerging jewelry brands everywhere. And if you've been intrigued by Joy Joya's grants in the past, then you must check out this one. Wait just a few moments and I will explain. I also want to give a recap of my experience at JCK Las Vegas this year. It was one of my favorite times at JCK yet, and I'm so impressed with the events team and all the amazing efforts that they put into the show this year. And lastly, I want to share some tips about how you can facilitate a mid-year course correction for your marketing if you feel like you've gotten off track. June is a time when we often feel like we need a break, especially if you're coming back from that big trade show. But at the same time, it's also such a great opportunity to start planning for the holidays and getting ahead of the busy season that's coming before we know it. So you'll want to hear my tips for regaining your business equilibrium. And in the gold mine, I'll be sharing some things about JCK that inspired me and that I want to pass along to you to hopefully give you some ideas to spark your mid-year reset and go into that second half of 2024 with innovation and creativity in mind. But before we get to the solid gold, I'd like to take a moment to remind you that this podcast has both audio and video, so you can either listen on your favorite podcast platform or watch on YouTube by searching Joy Joya. You can support the podcast for free by taking the time not only to subscribe, but also to leave a rating and review on Apple Podcasts. Also, if you didn't know, I co-host another podcast called Success with Jewelry with my friend Liz Kantner, who's also a jewelry marketer and the founder of the Stay Gold Collective. We have a free version of the podcast that's available everywhere you listen to podcasts, as well as on YouTube. And we also have a membership community with extended episodes and additional resources. I invite you to check that out if you're hungry for more content. Okay, without further delay, I have some really big news that I'm very excited to share with you. For the third time, my agency, Joy Joya, is opening an incubator grant, and it is officially live and waiting for your applications. We're doing things a little different this time around because we like to try out different stuff. And if you want all the details, I want you to visit jewelrybrandincubator.com, and I'll put that link in the show notes also. But to give you a rundown, here's what we've got. So we're giving away 6 months from August 1st to January 31st of free full service digital marketing support valued at $18,000 in total to one emerging jewelry brand. Yes, one brand is going to get 6 months of free marketing support. Last time when I offered this about a year ago, at that point, we had some pretty strict application requirements. I got feedback about how that felt limiting to brands that wanted to enter. You told me and I listened, so we're taking off those requirements, and all you need is to be an active jewelry business with an e-commerce presence to apply and enter for a chance for this grant. And the highlights of those services are access to me and a dedicated client account manager, 6 months of content that's tailored to your brand, 3 comprehensive audits of your e-commerce site, your social media marketing strategy, your email marketing strategy, us completely taking over your email marketing, content writing and publishing, and a success roadmap, as well as much more. Too much to talk about here. Visit jewelrybrandincubator.com for the full rundown of what would be included if you get this grant. Additionally, that's not all. New this year, we're not only offering that, but for 5 finalists, in addition to the grant winner, they will be getting 6 months free of the mid-tier membership to Joy Deck. Joy Deck is a new platform that we have soft launched this year. It's an all-in-one marketing support platform that provides accountability and direction, a personalized plan, confidence and assurance, real-time progress monitoring, accessible marketing expertise, and more. So 5 finalists will get that membership, which is a $3,600 value in total. There's a whole rundown and more details at jewelrybrandincubator.com. And also, that's not all. Hey, should I be like an infomercial salesperson? So all entrants, yes, everyone who enters and applies for this grant, regardless of whether you get it or not, you will receive 3 free months of the entry-level subscription to Joy Deck, and that focuses on accountability and support for your marketing. If you feel like you're very much emerging and you feel like you're on the brink of something big but need guidance to take that leap, then this is the place for you. It's for the bold, the dreamers, and those hungry for growth. And that literally everyone who enters will get a $300 value, and all the details and the explanation of what that means is at jewelrybrandincubator.com. Why are we doing this for free? We want you to be our next best case study. Also, I would love for the recipient of the grant to share their business and marketing journey alongside us on the podcast, just as if you remember Hillary Fink last year, who was the 2023 recipient of this grant, who is now actually a full client of ours, shared her story. And we want to have someone else also share their story. And we love giving back to the industry here at Joy Joya. And we've already had so much success with the past 2 grant programs that we've run. So it makes me super excited to offer this new one. And as I mentioned, the only requirements are that you have an active jewelry business with an e-commerce presence. And if you're already a fan of this podcast and you feel aligned with my approach to marketing, well, that's a bonus. So again, visit jewelrybrandincubator.com to apply and get all the details. Applications close Friday, July 12th at 11:59 p.m. Pacific time. Okay, let's get into today's episode, my sparklers. First, I want to give my JCK Vegas recap. I honestly think this JCK was one of the most fun and invigorating I've experienced. It just always feels so good to actually be in person with so many people from the industry and feel that amazing energy that comes from the jewelry space. There's something so special about it. But there were a few specific things that stood out to me that I want to share with you. So I did give 3 different talks, one of which was about integrating offline and online experiences. And I want to say that as I was at JCK, this is kind of meta because I'm giving this talk about offline and online experiences. And I think that the JCK event itself was one of the most shining examples of that integration of the offline and online. And there's so much to learn from the event. More than ever before, I think they really implemented ways to bring that in-person experience to people all over the world who weren't able to attend, as well as to just create content to encourage people to attend in the future. And one way that they did that was this very heavy emphasis on elevating their influencer partners. So they treated their influencers like they were royalty, calling them out on social media, spotlighting them, highlighting them, making them an official part of the press, giving them opportunities to share their personalities and jewelry style pics. And I like how they utilize the influencers as true ambassadors to connect the in-person experience of JCK with the online world. And obviously, you listeners out there, you are not running trade shows, but I still think there's a lot that can be learned about the ways that the influencers are used here to connect and bridge the offline and online experience for truly the audience. Also, activations. Wow, they put a lot of thought and effort into activations this year. Those are like little events or delightful little surprises throughout the show. They had an Elvis impersonator, a puppy playground, fun backdrops to take selfies, a photo booth, even more things that I think I didn't even get a chance to see. And the focus here was to encourage attendees to share online. And Stoller, one of the exhibitors, also had an activation. It was really cool. It was a love lock activation where you could get a free lock engraved with whatever you wanted. And then they had a little fence that you could make a wish and put your lock on it. And then at the end of the show, come get your lock. And that was in the service of promoting their new laser engraving technology, which you could also see demoed in real time. But I thought it was such a cute, interesting way to draw attention to something that's not necessarily fun, sexy, or exciting. So I really appreciated that. And then another thing I noticed was the tech and essentials section of the show. I overheard from my friend Jillian, who was at the Unbridled AI booth at the Tech and Essentials section, that this part of the trade show has really grown and there are more vendors being included in it. And it really goes to show you that more technology solutions have entered the market to service jewelry businesses. And I think jewelry brands need to at least be aware of all the changing technologies and emerging solutions, many of which incorporate AI to potentially give them a leg up in the industry. Also, when it comes to education at the show, I don't think JCK is just a trade show where people come to buy and sell, at least not anymore. I think it's also a place for people to educate themselves on this rapidly evolving industry that we're in. And the trade show organizers invested so much time and energy into planning and executing all of the talks and panels this year, and it showed. And the attendance for all the talks was also amazing. It really shows interest that people at the trade show are hungry for knowledge. I love to see it. And I can really see JCK evolving into the forefront of education for the industry as well. Anyway, when I go, I wear a press badge because of this podcast, and also I'm a speaker. And in some past years, walking around with a press badge, I did get a weird, dismissive kind of attitude from some vendors. Like they immediately don't care, don't want to talk to me because I'm not a buyer, and they don't feel like there's any reason to talk to a member of the press. But there was something about this year that there seemed to be a different vibe about that. And people manning the booths were really excited to see that I was a member of the press and to talk to me and tell me the stories of their brands. And I think the openness to share the story is so important, even if it's not resulting in a direct transaction right then and there. So something about this year just felt more open in general. I can't put my finger on it, but overall, I love that energy. I love that collaborative open feeling. And again, it just brings us all closer in the industry and gives us opportunities to share and improve all together. So I want to know, were you at the show? Did you come to my talks? If you're on YouTube, leave me a comment or DM me on Instagram. What did you like best about JCK this year? All right, so the other thing I wanted to talk about in this episode is tips for a mid-year course correction. Now that it is about the middle of June, I think this is a time, especially we're coming back from this trade show or this trade show vibe in the industry. You probably feel a little bit tired. Maybe you've hustled for the past few months of the year and now you're just like, ugh. So do you feel like you've fallen behind? Often we start the year with a bang. We're motivated. We're excited for all the things we're going to accomplish. And then life gets in the way, customers get in the way, production gets in the way, what have you. So I want to share 5 tips for giving your brand that mid-year course correction that you may need. 1, this is something that I've actually started doing this year because I'm so guilty of just going super gung-ho for months at a time and then getting burnt out and kind of losing track of where I even am. And so I recommend, and I'm following my own advice, setting up a non-negotiable goal check-in meeting with yourself about once a week. And actually make it a recurring meeting on your calendar. I want you to make yourself accountable for it, put a reminder, and at your first meeting, whether it's just with you or with a team member or multiple team members, you're going to revisit the goals you set for yourself at the beginning of the year and track your progress on each one. So what can be done at this point to get you back on track? Maybe you set up some subtasks for yourself to kind of get the ball rolling on things. Where are you excelling? Where do you need some extra help? And have that meeting every week so that you are fully aware of what you want to achieve and you're not sitting down at the end of 2024 and doing your goal reflection there when it's too late to make that progress until next year. Number 2, I want you to refocus on your target audience. So this is the time to reevaluate your target audience. Make sure your campaigns are all still aligned with their preferences and behaviors. Use insights from your analytics, whether that's social media analytics or Google Analytics, or even direct customer feedback to refine your audience personas. Number 3, it's the time to update your content calendar. If you are not great about updating it regularly, I want you to play catch up and I want you to go as far out through the end of the year as you can. If it's possible, go through December 31st for the remaining months of the year. Plug in those upcoming holidays, those key dates, those seasonal trends, those new products you're going to be launching, the promotions that you're going to be having for your store, anything that is a big deal for your business, plug those in, work around those milestone dates, and have that clear plan through the end of the year. Don't wait till September. Okay. Speaking of moving through the rest of the year, maybe holiday feels like a dirty word right now because, hey, it's June, but I'm going to say it. Plan for the holidays, okay? Start planning your holiday marketing campaigns early and now, even if it's just like a twinkle of an idea or a concept or some longer term to-do list items that are fresh in your head. And maybe this is the time that you look back on 2023. What did you like about holiday? What didn't you like? What inspired you from other businesses? What do you want to try? Wrap your head around things. Wrap your head around insights from the past. Maybe you're thinking about production calendars. Maybe you're already thinking about your gift guide. preparing those photo shoots, those marketing materials in advance. And that early preparation will ensure you're ready to capitalize big time on the holiday shopping season. And my last tip for today, this is the time to make improvements on your website. If there are ongoing to-do list items related to your e-commerce site, I want you to take June, July, and August to ensure that your website is up to date. You have high quality images, they're consistent, you have detailed product descriptions, you have an easy to navigate layout, it's all optimized for mobile, that it loads quickly, that your user experience is chef's kiss. It's better to do this now than when you're also ramping up to the holiday season and focused more on the marketing and promotions for that. So how are you feeling this June? Are you burned out? Are you ready to get back on track? Have you been on track? Have you been a perfect student of marketing? Let me know in a comment on YouTube or DM me on Instagram. I'd love to chat about it. All right, let's get into the gold mine. This is a segment of the podcast where I get personal and share insights on entrepreneurship, mindset, success, growth, and all things business. And I get to share things that are closer to my heart. Well, all of this podcast is close to my heart, let's be honest. But maybe I get a little bit more personal with you. Anyway, in this week's gold mine, I want to share a conversation I had at JCK. So I had the chance to attend a Levion press preview, and I was chatting with Megan, who works for the sales team, and also she hosts live shows on Levion's Instagram page. And we discussed several topics as she was just showing me jewelry, walking me through Levion's trend book that really inspired me, and I want to share it with you. So first, Megan told me that Levion VIPs get invited to this VIP Vegas experience every year, and that allows top spenders with the brand to see, have first looks at unreleased items, and they get to attend the annual fashion show. Just imagine for a second, I thought this was so cool because you out there, me over here, we're all big fans of at least one brand out there in the world. It doesn't have to be jewelry, whatever it may be. Maybe you like a certain brand of socks or something, or chocolate, whatever. And you spend a lot of money on it because it's really worthwhile to you. It's like your favorite treat. Imagine that business inviting you big spender, to a VIP experience at like their factory or their headquarters. Wouldn't you feel valued, spread the news with your friends, feel inclined to spend even more than you already do? I loved this idea, and I came away from that meeting feeling encouraged, feeling inspired to encourage you to find ways to pamper and reward your best customers. It doesn't have to be a fashion show because you don't want to be copycatting Levion anyway, of course. But what would feel so special to your customers, your best customers? What could you do for them that would make them just so delighted? And I want you to make it a priority to figure that out in this mid-year reset time that you're doing. Also, Megan told me more about this fashion show that Levion does annually at JCK. So she said that some people in the industry, they kind of look at Levion weird for having this fashion show because it is so out of the box and no one else is doing it, and they take it so seriously. And they're really approaching the concept from the fashion industry perspective. So they're using it to set color and other trends. Obviously, this is something different. They're doing something unique. And this year, I noticed the show got immense press and social media coverage. It dominated my feeds on Instagram, even on LinkedIn. They hired TikTok and Instagram influencer at Jules with Jules as the red carpet host, and she live streamed it to her massive audience. Just imagine the reach of an event like this, especially when they are consistently committing to it year after year. to the point where if Le'Veon didn't do a fashion show, we'd be like, wait, what? It has become one of their signature marketing activities, and it garners significant coverage, whether you like it or not. And in your mid-year marketing reset, I want you to think about what you can implement that may seem a little bit kooky, a little bit risky, but still feels authentic to your brand. I want you to consider something that you can commit to that will help you stand out in the marketplace, even if other jewelry businesses don't understand it. So meditate on this, and your homework is to try to come up with an answer. Anyway, I'm excited to see what you come up with. I want you to inspire me. Let me know in an Instagram DM or YouTube comment. I would love to hear your thoughts. Did you have any questions about today's episode? You can always email me, Larissa, that's LARYSSA @joyjoya.com. If you love this podcast, please share with a friend who'd appreciate it. And don't forget to subscribe as well as leave a review on Apple Podcasts. If you're completely new to digital marketing, then you'll want to purchase and read a copy of my book, Jewelry Marketing Joy. Visit joyjoya.com/book for more information.